Hi, my name is Danielle, and this video will be focusing on techniques to cultivate self-compassion during this difficult time. Many people say they can have compassion for others, for those who are suffering, going through difficult times, or struggling with negative emotions. However, when it comes to ourselves, it is easy to be our own worst enemy. It can be hard to spread loving kindness inward, even when we need it most. It makes sense that during a time full of uncertainty, when life feels like it is on pause, when you're unable to resume your usual activities, that you would be experiencing emotions such as sadness, grief, loneliness, anxiety, and fear. It's important to acknowledge that you are experiencing whatever emotions arise, and that these emotions make sense and in fact are completely normal. Practicing self-compassion can be difficult when we are used to being our harshest critics, when we are used to trying to avoid difficult emotions by pushing them away, rather than acknowledging their presence and giving ourselves a great big hug. We often judge ourselves and our emotions, blaming ourselves for feeling a way that feels wrong. The next time you feel sad or anxious, and you hear your inner voice shouting, "This is bad, I shouldn't feel this way, why can't I just feel happy?" See if you can try something like, "I notice that I'm feeling sad. Why might I be feeling this way?" By understanding what emotions are trying to tell you, you can start to notice how negative emotions serve a purpose and that it makes sense you feel that way. Sadness likely indicates a loss or grief, and anxiety indicates fear of the unknown. You may be wondering how acknowledging your emotions is part of self-compassion. Well, by simply noticing your emotions, instead of reacting to them, you curb the cycle of judgment and can just notice what you are experiencing in that moment. If you are talking to a friend, how might you suggest they respond to their emotions? Sometimes this can be helpful in thinking about how to respond to your own thoughts and emotions. A great self-compassion meditation is called loving kindness meditation. Loving kindness teaches us that suffering is universal. And what better time to practice this than during a worldwide pandemic? In this meditation, you start by spreading loving kindness to a loved one, then to a close individual, a neutral individual, to someone you dislike, and finally to yourself. Many of us are not used to sending loving kindness to ourselves, so this takes practice. Some people like to find a mantra that works for them to cultivate this sense of warmth towards oneself. Finally, if you're looking for a way to slow down and sit with your emotions, sometimes environmental cues can help with this. For instance, putting on a pair of fuzzy socks, having something calming to drink, listening to relaxing music, or lighting a candle. These pleasant events can be self-soothing and centering. I urge you to experiment and find whatever method works best for you. Remember, self-compassion takes practice, but it is perhaps one of the most important skills you can learn to care for yourself.